Okay, so I want to try to do a really short video today, pretty quick one, that I think is it's going to be at least beneficial to me where I deploy in emergency situations. And one of the questions that's always asked is, can you give me distances? And it's a bunch of distances. In the example I would use here, it was a debris mission out in California where we had dump sites, and then we wanted distances to all of the parcel locations that we were traveling to in the mission area, and that was so that they can calculate cost and things. But at the time, I didn't really have time to figure out a way to sit down and look at actually using GIS, vector, and raster analysis. So what I ended up doing was using a tool that was online and readily available, and I formatted some coordinates to pop in this free map tool that did a start point and end point, and it actually would calculate a lot of stuff. But the thing I was mainly, it would actually calculate time too based on road time values and speeds and things like that. So it was pretty nice. But I knew this was going to happen because it's not free anymore. It's not even available because it was freeware. Now it's not. And you can't rely on freeware to do something as important as emergency response. So that's why I wanted to do this. So I'm starting with some data that is available for everyone out on the census website. This is the tiger line shape files. It's really great data. I mean, I'll show you how quick it is to get this data, but you want all roads. And the data I'm using, I selected Kentucky and Floyd County, and downloaded it. So that's what I'm using there. Also, if you want to go back to the main page here, you can also get your county boundary here too, because that's what I did, county boundary. And you can see how much nice data is here, and it's out there. Go get it. So here's my project. So here's the roads I downloaded, and here's my county. And I created a start point here just so I can have a reference. I created this layer just from here, new shape file. I made sure it had the same projection as the roads because I don't want any issues with projections or inconsistencies there. And now, and I've tested out a lot of tools on here. This is the newest version, which I figured has most of the tools. And if I go to open the toolbox and type in network, you can see that there's a lot of choices here. Here's some new ones here, and they all do things a little bit different. And I went through a lot of them, and a lot of them just flat out don't work, or at least I don't know how to work them. But the one I did like, and the one I'm going to show you how to use, is this point cloud from layer. A lot of these other ones, I don't know why I couldn't get them to work. They crashed. They're something wasn't working. Lots of red on the output. But this one is ISO area as point cloud from layer. Now you can do a point from a point too, and from that point lets you just kind of really quickly grab an area and generate it. But I want to have this as a reference. So this is the way I would do it. And that way I can save all the files together. I might have more than one dump site that I want to reference, and those would be named accordingly or be project folders, just like what this is here, to where you save all your files. But let's see how this works, and this is pretty cool. Oh, that's the wrong one. From layer. So I have a road, I have a start point. One of the things that you have to do is add, if you create a new layer, you have to make sure it has a unique ID. This is obviously for if you have more than one point, which I haven't tried that yet, but we're starting with this one. Now, really all I want to do is just go to the end of the county. So, what's the road distance to the edge of the county in meters? Well, I don't really know what it is, but I'm just going to put 80,000 meters because I think that'll get us there. I'm going to hit run. Look how fast this is. That's one thing that I like about it too. It's pretty fast. So in no time, I have all these points. And if I open up this point cloud and take a look at it, this cost right here is the distance in meters. And that cost is is basically the historical language that was done in the development of raster analysis. So that's the cost in miles. No, I'm sorry, that's the cost in meters. That's how many meters it is from that center point to all these points have that value on there, which is meters. And I think it's great, and I really like it. But the only thing I want to do now, because I'm in the U.S., is I'm going to convert that to miles. So that's what we use pretty much. So I'm going to add a field. I'm just going to go to the calculator. I'm going to say create new field. I'm going to call the field miles. And I'm going to make it a decimal number. Or let's just say double. That's the easiest. So I'm going to take my field that I have there, that's just cost. And then I'm going to divide it by, let's go to my trusty Kyle's converter here. And I'm going to look for length. I'm going to look for meters. And I'm going to select miles. So in this case, I'm going to put 1. I'm going to put 1 for 1 mile. So 1 mile is, well, 1,600 some meters. So I'm going to paste that right there. And I'm going to hit OK. So now I have those distances in miles instead of meters. So that's pretty cool. But look, here's something that's even better. I'm going to turn that editor off. I'm going to hit save. But now I want to create a raster out of those. I want to use IDW interpolation. Now they got a few different ones, but this one's pretty quick and easy. And you can play with these and see which one you like, but I've used this one. So I'm going to put the vector layer, output point cloud, interpolation attribute, it's miles this time. And now I'm just going to add that down here because this is pretty powerful because it lets you use more than one type of vector layer if you have multiple types with things that you want to measure in the raster that you're creating. You can put that in here. Distance coefficient, did some research on that. 2.7 is what I'm going to use. Then I'm going to hit run. Wrong or missing parameter. Where's that at? Oh, okay. I'm going to use the county on this. Use layer extent county. So I think I'm ready to go now. Run. So this one takes a while. I might have to cut some of this out because I wanted to make it kind of short and pretty compact, especially for what we're wanting to use it for. I mean, it still doesn't take that long to do, but you know, who wants to sit there and watch it calculate? I think it takes, at least for the county I'm using here, it doesn't take 5 minutes. And no matter which tool you use, it's got to work, and it's got to work consistently. It's got to give you good output. And you should test your output to make sure it's consistent with what you think it should be. So now look at what we got here. So this is pretty darn cool. Let me turn these things off so I can show you what it looks like. Here it is. Bam. So these are raster values of distance from this point. And well, let's make it look pretty. So let's make it look good. Let's do a pseudo color. I do like this color, but I want it to be inverted because the farther the distance is, it makes more sense. So that's what I'm excited about. Because now look at this. I can click anywhere on this map and get a distance in miles. Click distance in miles. Click distance in miles. So that's what's exciting about this. And we'll do this real quick. I don't know if everybody knows how to do this, but we can extract by mask layer. I'm going to put interpolate in there. County. turn that off, and now look at it. There we go. It's looking good. So I can, well, they've changed the design on this a little bit on the new version, so I haven't got used to it yet. But man, that's pretty cool. And then here, look how quickly we can do what we can do now that we have this. So now I want to make some contours. So I want to show contours on the clip map every interval between lines. And this is in miles now, so I'm going to say 5. And I'm going to, it's not elevation. They usually use this for elevation, but this time I'm going to put miles in there. Run these contours. We'll can make a map for that. So there we go. Every 5 miles. So there we are. I mean, I'm very excited about it because now, you know, if you just think of all these points that we have here as, you know, next to a house, I mean, I could get distance to every one of them. And not only that, but we could put the centroids for the homes on there and extract the data to those using raster tools in here, values. Okay, so let's see what's a good tool. It's one that I used before. Here we go. Add raster values to features. So in this case, you know, we'd have these output point clouds that, you know, just as an example, it's a point, but if you can imagine them being centroids to the parcels or a house, and we can use different interpolation methods from getting the value from the raster. And when we run it, we'll have centroids from this start point location to every one of those points. And that's powerful. And that's all I got. Have a good day.